It's here on a Monday night at 7 o'clock, M7, Mondays at 7. This is My Mind Matters. And indeed, your mind does matter. Now, my name is Paul. If you haven't met me before, I am a master coach and I help people do all sorts of things with their lives. I like to call myself a success and fulfillment coach. And My Mind Matters is really about the fulfillment side of things. It's about learning to breathe, learning to manage your emotions, learning to master your mind. And we use three major tools to do that. We do breath work, we do mindfulness, and we do meditation. So it's about 50 minutes of exercises, and it is practical. This isn't just me chatting away to you and having a good old chin wag. These are exercises that you can participate in now. And if it resonates with you, if you feel any inclination to do this again, then I suggest you do it as regularly as you possibly can. In fact, you might think once a day is enough. If you can do it once a day, that is a fantastic step in the right direction. But you might even want to consider just taking the time out to do 2, 3, 4 minutes, 3 or 4 times a day. And that's just an opportunity to connect with yourself, to get right back to basics. And that can be as simple as getting yourself somewhere nice and isolated, somewhere nice and quiet, closing your eyes and taking a few deep breaths. Now, each week, and this is every Monday at 7 o'clock, each week I like to have a different subject matter so that you can really start to relate these tools to various areas of your life. Now, tonight we're going to be talking about love and relationships. And I think anyone watching, if you're not in love, there must be people that you do love. And of course, that could be your children. If you haven't got kids, it might be a nephew or a niece. It could be brothers, sisters, or even parents. I know that's going to be absolutely different for everyone. And if it isn't anything I've mentioned, perhaps it's a good friend. Maybe it is the other half. There are so many different ways to connect with this information. So if loved ones are important to you, or perhaps you're looking for a loved one, then all of this information will prove to be useful for you. Please feel comfortable coming to this with no idea what's going to happen. Please feel comfortable coming to this going, I don't know what breath work means. Please feel comfortable coming to this going, I've never done mindfulness or I've never done meditation. It doesn't matter. You can be a complete and utter beginner. And in fact, I would say that being a beginner could be an advantage to you, because it means you haven't got any preconceptions. Perhaps you have no idea what mindfulness is. Perhaps you have no idea what meditation is. And so you might find that what I teach you is very different to what other people teach, because there are many different ways to do this. And I'm also going to argue that there's no right or wrong. And the reason for that is because it's whatever works for you. So just because what I teach works for me and many of my students, perhaps it doesn't work for you. Or perhaps it's your first time and it just feels a bit icky. It feels a bit, I don't know, different. You're unsure how all this works. Or just come to it week after week after week, and it gets easier and easier and easier. I will make this very clear from the outset. And again, if this is something you've been doing for a few weeks, or perhaps you've been doing it for a number of years, you'll already know this. But sometimes people think that when you do mindfulness, when you do meditation, it's to stop all thoughts. That will never happen. It won't happen. And the chances are that tonight, even though I give you guided mindfulness, guided meditation, the chances are your mind will wander, especially if there's a lot going on right now. And that's perfectly normal. And the moment you realize that your mind has wandered, you're wondering about tomorrow, you're thinking about work, you're wondering about money, there's all sorts of things that could happen tonight. Don't worry about it. The moment you realize that your mind has wandered, just bring it back to the focus. Now, what's the word I'm looking for here? The running theme throughout everything, the breath work, the mindfulness, and the meditation, is going to be love and relationships. So I'll try to make that work for you in all sorts of ways tonight. But ultimately, it's about emanating, it's about emoting love. No matter what's going on around you, no matter how people are reacting towards you, it's about you feeling comfortable, you feeling love, and you being able to emit that love no matter what's going on around you. And if you can practice that, if you can get into this groove, and it might take you a few days or even weeks, and for some people, it might even take months. It depends where you are in your life. You might be quite a happy person, and so this is quite easy for you to resonate with. Perhaps you've had a difficult life, And to go out loving everyone and feeling love all the time could be a step too far. And so you need to lower yourself into this. Just try to find the level that works for you tonight and move closer and closer and closer to more and more love. Okay, having said all of that, let's get started. I want to make it very clear, I cannot see you and I cannot hear you. So do not feel uncomfortable by closing your eyes because I can't see you. You can open your eyes at any point. During the time that we close our eyes, I will close mine as well. I found it very useful for myself. In fact, I'll share this with you. I look forward to Monday nights at 7. I love it. I really, really enjoy this. And I know that the group is quite small at this point, but we're only a few weeks in. But the results that people are having, people have been writing to me and telling me how much they're enjoying this, and it's really helping them. And so that spurs me on to keep going with the work. And I will come up with lots of different techniques for breath work, lots of different techniques for mindfulness. We've already explored a few. I'm going to keep it very simple tonight. But next week, I'm going to be moving into artwork, how you can use art or drawing, doodling, anything of that nature. You do not need to be an artist. Coloring is another big one. How can you use coloring and art to be able to relax and feel good about yourself? Okay, let's start with breath work. So at this point, all I want you to do is close your eyes, get nice and comfortable, put your feet on the ground. It's ideal if you're sitting in a chair, but sometimes people prefer to lie down. From my experience, when you lie down, there's a very good chance that you're going to fall asleep. So I highly recommend that you sit in the chair. So close your eyes, feet on the ground. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Hold on to it for a few moments. And then let it out. Now we'll play music in the background. And that will be for everyone to be able to hear. And at some points I will stop talking so that you can really enjoy the music. Just see where it lets your mind take you. So nice deep breath. I'm going to do counts this time. Nice deep breath in through the nose for 1, 2, 3. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3. And let it out for 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do it for 4. In through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4. And let it out for 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just take a pause for a moment. Keep your eyes closed. Breathe at your own pace. We're going to go to 5 in just a moment. But before we do that, just feel a sense of relaxation. Feel a sense of calmness. No matter what's going on in your life, no matter how your day has been. I know it's just the start of the week for some people. And take a moment to put a little smile on your face. Not a big grin, but just break a smile. And take a moment to think of some loving thoughts. Who's somebody that you love? Somebody that you really care for. And just focus on them for a moment. And if it's somebody that you've been together with, perhaps, or friends with for many, many, many years, just take a moment to think about how that relationship was when you first met. Rekindle the excitement. How was it when you first met? Was it fun? Were you excited? Now let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let it out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing at your own pace right now. I want you to continue breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, but put your hand over your chest area and see if you can feel the movement of your chest as you breathe in and breathe out. Now, because tonight is all about love and relationships, move your hand over a little towards your heart, where you imagine your heart would be. Just feel your chest rising and falling as you're breathing in. Now, when it comes to love, when it comes to relationships, some really good habits to adopt include gratitude. Gratitude for one another. Thanks for one another. Just for a moment, think of a loved one. It can be the same one, it can be a different one. Think about how grateful you are that they're in your life. Think about things they do for you. Do they make you happy? Do they help you? Do they help you with the shopping? Do they help you with finances? And if you're thinking at this point there is no one you can think of, what about a pet? Have you got a pet that you might love? Can you be grateful for that pet? Does the pet make you feel loved? Does it come running towards you when you get home and lick you? Does it like to sit on your lap and allow you to stroke it? Just feel that love right now. Keep your hand on your heart. Now, we're focused on breathing at the moment, and that can be very important, especially during difficult conversations. That could be a conversation you need to talk about for, let's think, finances. Maybe you're struggling with finances at the moment. You've got to talk about it. Perhaps they've done something that offended you, that upset you deeply. Maybe you've got to talk about the kids. Maybe you've got to talk about their parents, their brother, their sister. A difficult conversation, it's always a good idea to take nice, deep breaths. This informs your body that everything is okay. You start panting, you start getting nervous, you start racing your breath, you start to get more anxious. And you don't want to be anxious, you don't want stress when you're having a difficult conversation. Here's another simple idea. When you're having a deep conversation with your partner, with a loved one, with a friend, whoever it may be, put your phone down. Don't be checking messages. How many times you've been to a restaurant or been out for dinner or just in a movie, seen a whole family together and they're all on their phones? It happens. It happens a lot. Here's another good one for you. Listen to understand, not to respond. So many times when we're talking to each other, we're really, really desperate to get our point across. We're desperate to ensure that the other party knows what we're talking about, that they understand us. But actually, you'll find it far more powerful to simply listen and understand them. And here's another great tip: become curious. Ask lots of questions to make sure that you really do understand. Just become curious, like a little child, like a 3, 4, 5-year-old. You've heard the kids. But why? But why? But why? But why? It can drive you crazy. But don't just say, but why? But why? But why? Come up with questions and genuinely want to know the reasons. And then finally, you might want to find some time that you can get together. Some time just for you. That might be a coffee, that might be to sit down and have a cup of tea together. That could be a date night if it's a serious relationship. If it's a loving relationship, if it's a partnership, you might just want to have a date night. It could be going to the movies, going to the museum, going for a walk. It doesn't have to cost any money whatsoever. Now, no matter how far you've come in your intimate relationships, cultivating love intimacy and a union is an ongoing process. Don't think that you've nailed it, you've got it, it's all done. This is something you need to work on over and over and over again. Just keep working on it. Now, a little later, we'll talk about mindfulness. This is really about being non-judgmental. It's about being in the moment. And it's really fantastic for relationships because it means that you're really, really present. Okay, let's bring our breathing to an end again with your hand on your heart. Just imagine love emanating from your chest, from your heart, and send it out around the room that you're in. Just take a nice deep breath in through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let it out through the mouth for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just for a moment, linger in that relaxed state. Just try to play with your emotions for a moment and feel love. Feel love, feel loved. And if you're sitting there thinking, I can't think of anyone that loves me, that cares for me, then let me send my love to you. Because at the end of the day, we're all one, we're all connected, we're all human beings, and we all go through pain. We all laugh, we all cry. So let me send you love. Okay, one final breath now in through the nose for 1, 2, 3. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3. And let it out for 1, 2, 3. Okay, when you're ready, open your eyes. And hopefully at this point, it's very, very simple, very early, but you should already feel relaxed and calm. If you've had a stressful day, just allow everything to be released. Let all of that pain, that anxiety, that stress, let it all go. Just ask yourself, could you let it go? And if you're saying, yeah, I could do that, do it. Do it now. Let it all go. Okay, so that's breathing. Now, the importance of the breathing, I like to do this first because breathing will be an integral part of mindfulness and the meditation. But the fact is, you can do this at any point in the day. You're having a tough time, whether it's the boss or a friend or a partnership, whoever it may be, get some time on your own and just do some deep breaths. You've probably seen when people are really stressed, they might get a paper bag and they breathe into it and they can see it going up and down, up and down, up and down. It's exactly the same idea. And breathing does let your body know whether you're in a good place or a bad place. Breathing does let you know if you're panicked or you're calm. And so this is an opportunity for you to really control your body, really control your state. There are lots of different breathing techniques, and we've tried many already. And over the coming weeks, we'll try different ones out. Okay, I want to move on to the mindfulness now. Mindfulness is very similar. We'll start with the breathing, but then I'm going to take you on a guided mindful meditation. The one that we're going to do this evening is called a body scan. So I'm going to talk about a ball of light, like a miniature sunshine being right there in front of you. And I'm going to take you all over your body so you can feel like you're bathing in sunshine. See how relaxed that can make you feel. Now, again, this is something you could do on your own. You don't need to do that. You can jump on YouTube. There are all sorts of videos out there that will help you do this. And you could be doing that with music, or you could be doing that with a guided meditation. And of course, after this live presentation, this will actually go onto YouTube. So you could watch it back any day you like. And you can see previous episodes any day you like. And of course, you've also got the podcast. So you've got the ability just to Listen to the sound. And at some point, I'm going to break this down and put it onto YouTube, put it onto the podcast, so you're able just to use the breathing technique. And I imagine I'll keep that short. I might even do a 2-minute, a 3-minute, a 4-minute, and a 5-minute, so you can decide which ones are appropriate for you, depending on the time you've got. So I just need 2 minutes. You can do that. In fact, I'll even do a 1-minute. I will do a 1-minute, because there might be times you think, I just need to calm down. And that 1 minute could be enough. Just 60 seconds of deep breathing could really help you calm down. So I will do 1 minute. I'll do those for you. In fact, I'm going to do those the next week and make them available to you all. And I'll keep them on YouTube. And I'm not sure if I can put them onto the podcast individually. So I will be able to put those onto my website and make them available to you, and you'll be able to download them. I will do that in this coming week. Okay, let's move on for mindfulness. Once again, it's very likely that your mind will wander. Don't worry about it. The moment it does, just bring it back to the current moment. And if you listen to my words, that's likely to keep you in place for much, much longer. But don't panic. If it wanders, just bring it back and continue as soon as you can. Okay, let's close our eyes. If you are sat down, put your hands on the top of your legs, feet comfortable. If you're already starting to feel like you've been in the chair too long, give yourself a little wiggle and a jiggle and get really, really comfortable. Okay. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And now imagine a ball of light, like a miniature sunshine, about 4, 5, 6 inches in front of you, hovering, rotating. And it is so hot, this little ball, you can feel the heat coming off of it, just like you're laying outside on a hot sunny day. We've had a few of those in the UK the last few days. Just imagine you're sat there. Maybe you prefer to be on holiday. You're in a deck chair, you're on your sunbed, you're beside the pool, and you can feel that hot, glorious sunshine. And at this point, you just feel the heat on your face. And in fact, you can just feel it above your eyes, and it starts to create 2 pools of light. It could be white light, golden light, you decide. This beautiful, warm, calming, loving light creates 2 pools above your eyes. And just take a moment to allow that heat, that energy, that light to go around your eyes. Imagine it going all the way around your eyes. And if you do have troubles with your eyes, if you do struggle, maybe your sight isn't so great, just imagine the healing power that might have. Again, I never make promises. I can't tell you it will heal your eyes, but just for a moment, imagine if it did, if your eyesight got better, if your eyesight improved, how would that make you feel? That's the power that this energy, this loving light can have. And now taking it from the eyes, from the pools above the eyes, up onto the bridge of the nose and onto the forehead. And imagine right now that light massaging your forehead. In fact, if you need to, feel free to take your hands to your forehead and do massage it. If your imagination isn't strong enough at this point, put your thumbs on your temples, put your fingers on your forehead, and literally massage it. How does that feel? Now we're going to continue our journey. We're going to take that light now from the forehead up onto the top of the head, across the scalp, coming down across the back of the head to the back of the neck. Now, whilst we're at the neck, take the opportunity to imagine once again someone stood behind you and they're massaging your neck. We're going to get to the shoulders next. Stay on the neck at this moment. And if this is somewhere that you are tense, you can feel that you're tight, you're wound up, just imagine that negative energy being released right now. Here's an interesting fact. We use the term wound up or unwound up. Well, actually, when you are wound up, when you are stressed, when you're anxious, your DNA, which is called a helix, it's like a vine that rotates, it literally winds itself up. It winds itself tighter. And when you unwind, it does the opposite. It literally unwinds and becomes a lot looser. If you're wondering what the hell is he on about, after we finish tonight, take the opportunity to go and check out DNA, see what a helix is, and see what happens when it winds up and winds down. It might be helpful for you to imagine what's happening to your body when you unwind and when you're wound up. So from the neck right now, imagine the energy coming down onto both shoulders, the left and the right. We're going to take the energy, first of all, down the right shoulder. Imagine somebody squeezing it, manipulating it, helping you work out any bugs you might have in that shoulder, any knots, any tightness. And again, ask yourself, could you release that negative energy? Could you release the aches and pains that you may have? Could you release the tension? And if you're saying, yes, I could, when will you do it? When's the best time to do that? It's right now, isn't it? Right now, let it go, release it. So let's work our way down the right arm from the shoulder, right shoulder, over the biceps and the triceps, coming down towards the elbow. From the elbow now, coming down through the forearm and into the wrist. Imagine that light now, the golden light, white light, whatever you imagine it to be like, loving, calming, relaxing, de-stressing, rotating around the wrist, going into the palm of the hand. And now the light comes out like beams of light out of the thumb and then each of your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4 beams of light coming out through those fingers. Let's take a moment right now to go to the left shoulder. Take that energy from the left shoulder, massage it for a moment. If you need to, move your arm around, just get comfortable. And think about, could you allow any aches or pains you've got to be released? And if you agree you could, when should you do that? When's the best time to do that? Yeah, it's right now, isn't it? Right now. Release the aches and the pains right now. Take that energy down through the left shoulder into the biceps and triceps, down towards the elbow. From the elbow now going into the forearm, coming down to the wrist, and imagine that light now going all the way around the wrist, round and around and around, relaxing, feeling great. Taking that energy now into the palm of the hand, and imagine the light coming out as a beam of light, a bright, strong beam of light out through the thumb, and then the fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers, 5 beams of light out the left hand, 5 beams of light out the right hand. Let's take the energy down now over the front of the chest. So bring it from the back of the neck around to the front of the neck, and slowly bring that energy down over the chest area, down towards the abdomen. And as it makes its way down, imagine that this energy, this light, has the ability to go inside as well as out. And it's just scanning each of your organs and ensuring that they're as healthy as they can be. Down through the body, coming down through that torso, kidneys, lungs, all of these organs, the heart, everything feeling relaxed, feeling great, feeling healthy. And now bring that energy down towards the hips and hold it there. Let's go back to the back of the neck and bring the energy now across the back, down through the spine, vertebra by vertebra. Slowly down it comes, vertebra by vertebra. Relaxing, healing, calming, vertebra by vertebra. Quarter of the way now. Almost like heated stones, allowing all of the aches and pains to dissipate. About halfway down now. Almost like somebody climbing down the ladder of your spine. Step by step by step by step they go. 3/4 of the way. And now at the bottom of the spine, the tail of the spine. Bring the energy to the hips. So now your entire torso is encapsulated by this warm, loving light. Imagine the light now spinning around the hip area. And as it goes from the hips, take it lower and lower and lower, down to the groin, and now into the buttocks. Let's go onto our right buttock. Take that energy down through that right leg, over those giant muscles, the top of the leg, the hamstrings, down towards the knees. From the knee now, and lots of people get aches and pains in those knees. If that's true for you, imagine the negativity, imagine the aches and the pains being released. And now taking that energy from the knee into the calves and the shins of your right leg, down towards the ankle, into the ankle, resting, relaxing, rejuvenating, and now into the ball of the foot, the flat of the foot, and taking it forward now into the big toe, and then your second, third, fourth, and fifth toe. 5 beams of light coming out through that right foot. Let's do the same with the left leg. Focus your energy on your left buttock and bring that energy down through the leg, top, the bottom of it, over the hamstrings, down towards the knee. Again, if you've got aches, pains, rheumatism, injuries, anything of that nature, imagine this light right now healing it. Imagine this light right now helping it to relax and release any tension or aches or pains you may have. Making its way down past the knee, over the shins and the calves, into the ankle. The light rotating around the ankle, around the ankle, around the ankle, soothing, relaxing, calming. And now into the ball of the foot, the flat of the foot, and finally 5 beams of light out through the big toe, and then your second, third, fourth, and fifth toe, 5 beams of light coming out through that left leg. Now your entire body is consumed by this loving light. And so we're talking about love. Our focus is love. So for a moment, whilst you're submerged in this light, which is here for you, just feel the love that it's giving you. Every part of your body, from head to toe, every part of your body right now relaxed, feeling the love. Now I want you to have a heightened awareness, a deeper awareness of your own thoughts, your own emotions, the way you feel right now. Just for a moment, think of the loved one. Again, it could be a child, it could be your son or daughter, it could be a niece or nephew, it could be a brother or sister, it could be mum or dad, it could be a best friend, it could be your partner. Think of someone that's important to you, someone that you care about. Just think for a moment about your thoughts for them. How do they make you feel about them? Does that make you feel warm inside? Does it make you feel good about yourself? If it doesn't, you might want to think of someone else. Now, of course, once we get ourselves into a state like this, can you imagine now having a serious discussion, a deep discussion, when you feel this relaxed? This can really help you improve your communication. It can encourage you to be fully present in the moment. And that can make a huge difference. It means you could be listening to a much better level. In fact, it's called active listening. You're being attentive to your partner, to what they're saying, their words, their gestures, and most importantly, their emotions. And there's a very good chance if you're really inquisitive, if you're really paying attention, and you've got the opportunity to be very authentic and understanding. Now, at this point, whilst you sit here relaxed, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, you should feel a sense of emotional regulation. This is so, so important. I teach people that generally we're in a state of self-repression. What we need to do is recognize that self-recognition. Once we could recognize the way we think, what our beliefs are, the way we behave, then we've got the opportunity to move forward and start to regulate so we become better emotionally and better with our own thoughts so they can help us. And we get generally a better composure. We get better clarity. And of course, this could help with your intimacy as well. If it's somebody you're thinking of that you get intimate with, it can really help you get to a special place. And while we've got this light all over our body, resting, relaxing, just imagine it's like you're in a bath, a really hot bath. Maybe you've had a hot shower and you feel the hot water running down. That feels so good. I love a hot shower. If that's true for you, then really consider this. How good does that feel? Okay. I'm going to bring that light all the way back through the body right now and bring this mindfulness to a conclusion. Just bring the light back in through the left foot, bring the light back in through the toes, all 5 toes into the foot, bring the light back across the bottom of the foot into the ball of the foot, into the ankle, up through the lower part of the leg, past the shins, the calves, into the knee, from the knee, bring it up across the top part of the leg now, into the hips and the left buttock. Let's do the same with the right side, bringing the light back into the toes, from the toes into the foot, across the arch of the foot, the ball of the foot, up into the ankle. Drawing it up now past the calves and the shins into the knee. And now bring it up towards the buttock and the hips. Allow it to rotate around your hip area just for a moment. And now draw that light up. Let's first of all go across the back, vertebra by vertebra, bone by bone, making our way further and further up across the back. That feels good. If you've ever had a massage where they put those hot stones on your back, that's how this feels. It's so good. Over halfway, 3/4 of the way right now, coming up to the very top, towards the neck. And now we get all the way to the top. And just keep that heat, keep that energy around the top of the neck area. Now let's bring it across the front to the body. So starting from the groin area, making our way up towards the belly. Don't forget, heal those organs as well. It could be your kidneys, your liver, your lungs, your heart, bringing that energy up through the body, up across the chest area now, towards the top part of the neck at the front, and bring that light, bring that energy round to the back of the neck. And now from the back of the neck, making its way up towards the skull. Just feel the relaxation, feel that massage. And now coming up across the back of the neck, up to the back of the head, onto the top of the head. And just keep it there for a moment. Enjoy that for a moment. Very restful, very relaxing. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And taking that energy now across the top of the head onto the forehead. And from that forehead, bring it down across the bridge of the nose, over the nose, so that now the energy rests above your eyes. Like two pools of light just sitting there in the well of your eyes. And now draw that light back into the sunshine, back into the ball, 4, 5, 6 inches in front of you. Just see that ball sitting there, restful, relaxing, rotating like a miniature sunshine. And now that it's healed you, now that it's helped you, now that it's given you love, allow that ball to disappear into the ether. And although the ball is gone, although the heat is gone, although that light has now gone, you still feel the benefits in your body. And whilst you've still got your eyes closed, just think again about that person or that pet that you love and send them your love right now. And just for a moment, while you're thinking about them, if they're in the house, there's a very good chance you're going to go and chat and have a talk afterwards. You might even want to give them a hug. If it's an intimate relationship, you might even want to give them a kiss. Don't just do one of those pecks. Come on, give it a long kiss, 6-second kiss. If it's someone you love and you're in an intimate relationship, go for the big kiss, have a snog. And if it's mum or dad, brother or sister, somebody that maybe doesn't even live near you, just imagine for a moment that they can feel your love and they give you a call within the next 24 hours. They could be the other side of the planet. America, Australia, India, Philippines, Africa. And they give you a call just to say they love you. How good does that feel? Okay, put a smile on your face. Again, bear in mind, I cannot see you. So don't feel weird about that. Don't feel odd about that. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. I'm going to count to 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4. And let it out for 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's do one last one for 5. In through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let it out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just for a moment, listen to the music and feel the love emanating from you, the love you're sending out. And maybe you can even feel the love coming back, whether it's from the light, the energy, or from that loved one that you've got in your mind's eye. Okay, bringing the mindfulness to an end. Open your eyes when you are ready. How do you feel right now? Hey, do feel free afterwards to send me some messages. I love it when I get messages. If you found something particularly useful or there's a subject you would like me to cover, then you can write to me at info@engagewithsuccess.com. I'll happily answer those for you. If you want to write a review and say how much you're enjoying this, do the same thing, info@engagewithsuccess.com, and I'd love to get some reviews. I'll put those onto my website. Okay, we've got time to do our mindfulness right now. Meditation. So often these are very similar practices. Mindfulness is really about taking the opportunity to calm your mind. Again, you'll never stop thinking. And for me, meditation is just a deeper dive on that. So I tend on mindfulness to do something around the body. It doesn't have to be with your eyes closed. You could literally keep your eyes open and just pay attention to something else. In fact, next week I will do, well, I've already said I'll do the art. And mindfulness, this art, it's not even about closing your eyes. Your eyes will be open, but it's about focusing intensely on something. That could be closing your eyes and smelling flowers. For me, when I'm gardening, and I've been gardening the last few days, you think I'm looking tanned because I've been out in the garden in the glorious sunshine. That's mindfulness, because I'm so connected to the plants, so connected to the soil. I'm so focused on my activity. That is mindfulness. So there's lots of different ways you can do it. We've already done one on food, eating. You can be mindful when you're eating. And that doesn't mean like disciplined. It just means paying attention to the fragrance of the food, the flavor of the food, the texture of the food. That's what's interesting about mindfulness. So think of it as really a way of focusing so that you're not so distracted. You just bring in all your focus onto the various senses. Now, meditation is really about sitting here and calming the body. Now, I'm not going to ask you to put your hands together. I'm not going to ask you to cross your legs. I'm not going to ask you to get into a strange position or anything of that nature. It will simply be a deeper version, a deeper dive of the mindfulness. So let's get into it. Close your eyes, hands on top of your legs. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Hold on to it for a moment and let it out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Now, I want you to very quickly take that light, imagine it once again just in front of you, and take that light on that full tour of the body, over the eyes, making its way up to the forehead, over the top of the head, down across the back of the neck, onto the shoulders, down through your right arm and coming out through the fingers, down through the left arm, coming out through the fingers, down across the front of your body, over the chest, over the abdomen, down towards the groin, now across the back, vertebra by vertebra. Just get yourself back to where you were with the mindfulness. Take the energy now down through the buttocks, right one first, into the leg, past the knee, down through to the ankle, drawing that light forward into the foot and 5 beams of light out through the right foot. And finally, left leg, bring that energy into the left buttock, down through the left leg, into the knee, down through the shins and the calves, into the ankle, into the foot, and 5 beams of light coming out through the toes. Just get yourself back to where you were a moment ago. Now, tonight is all about love and relationships. So let's take a moment right now to think about anyone else that may be in your home. If they're in your home, send love out to them right now. And if they're not in your home, just think about them being in their own home and send love to them right now. Imagine next time you see them feeling a greater sense of harmony. Imagine right now, the next time you're with them, feeling a greater sense of understanding, really understanding one another. Imagine that relationship becoming more joyful than ever. A deeper connection, more effective communication, and overall, a deeper sense of satisfaction with that relationship. If this is making you feel good, that's fantastic. Send that love out to them. Send it out. If you need to, put your hand back over your heart again and imagine that energy coming out through your chest and filling up your home or filling up their home. And just for a moment, as you breathe in, imagine that energy coming in through the nose, but feel that heart filling up with love. Hold on to it. Hold on to it. Hold on to it. And now let it out through the mouth. And just imagine that love coming from the heart out into the universe. Let's do that one more time. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose, but feed all of that air through the heart, into the heart, filling the heart with love, happiness, joy, and complete and utter appreciation, whoever you've been thinking about. Hold on to it. Hold on to it for a moment. Hold on to it. Feel the love in that heart. That heart is swelling up with love now. And then let it out. Resting, relaxing, rejuvenating. Now I want you to take your energy and push it beyond your own home out into the neighborhood. Imagine the neighborhood if you can. Take the energy right now and push it out across your neighborhood into your village, your town, or your city. Embracing more and more and more people, more of the land. And you're filling it with love. You're sending your love out to everyone and everything. Taking that energy now beyond your town, out across the entire country. Let's go out to the country. Your entire country now encapsulated. Just imagine it in your mind's eye. Your love, like a blanket of mist rolling out over that countryside. And your entire country now enveloped in your love, your light, your joy, your happiness, your love. And now from your country across your entire continent. And from the continent to the entire planet. Again, imagine it almost like a mist, that energy that you've received earlier from that ball of light now being pushed out around the entire planet. And that's your love, sending out a message of love, appreciation, gratitude, healing, compassion. How does it make you feel, sending out all that love, all that energy, all that joy? Now bring that energy back from the entire planet back to your continent, from your continent back to your country, from your country back to your city or town or village. And finally bring that light back, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, so that it's now into your room, just the room that you're in. Now fill that room that you're in with love. Fill it with love. And if that room is now full of light, white light, golden light, intensify it. Intensify it. Make it even brighter. Make it warmer. Feel the heat. Feel the light. Feel the love. Put a smile on your face. That feels so good. Feeling so relaxed. Come on, keep that smile on your face. And for one last time, think of that person. And if it's not a person, if you can't think of somebody you love, think of a pet. If it's somebody that makes or something that makes you feel completely and utterly loved. Okay, last few breaths now. Let's go for 4 in through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4. And let it out for 1, 2, 3, 4. In through the nose for 5 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let it out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just for a moment, feel that love. Again, put your hand on your heart and feel that love. Feel your own personal vibration rising. Feel it lifting. Feel that joy in your body. Now get ready to let it go, but remember you can bring this back anytime you like. And I recommend you do it every day if you can. Ideally, you can do it at the same time every day, then it can become a habit. It could be getting up an extra 5 minutes, 10 minutes early and doing this. It could be at the end of your day. It might even be on your lunch hour. As long as you can get some space to sit down and close your eyes, you could do the meditation. Okay, let's take a moment now to bring that light in through the toes into the foot. We're going left foot first. Draw that light into the heel, up into the ankle, up through the leg, into the knee, up through the left top leg, into the buttock, and ultimately into the hip. Same with the right leg now, drawing that light back in, into the foot, flat of the foot, ball of the foot, arch of the foot. Bring it up into the ankle. Bringing it now from the ankle up past the shins, the calves, up into the knee, from the knee bringing it up towards the top of the leg, into the buttock. Allow that light to rotate around your waist area. And now we bring the light up vertebra by vertebra, up through the back, bone by bone, steadily, easily, effortlessly, healing whilst it does that. Halfway now, 3/4 of the way now, all the way now to the top of the neck. Let's bring the light in through the left hand, into the fingers, into the palm, into the wrist, up through to the elbow, bring it up now through to the left shoulder, and just hold it at the left shoulder. Let's do the same with the right arm, in through the fingers, bring it into the palm of the hand, the wrist, up through the forearm, into the elbow, up through the top of the arm, into the shoulders. Imagine somebody massaging your shoulders, easing away the pain, melting away that pain. Now finally up onto the back of the neck. From the back of the neck, across the top of the head, bring it down onto the forehead, the bridge of the nose, bringing it down now to the pools of light over your eyes, and allowing that light to go back to the sunshine, and then let that sunshine disappear. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Okay, when you're ready, open your eyes. I hope that's feeling good for you. I hope you're feeling rested and relaxed. This is something, if you can return to this day in and day out, I'm feeling very relaxed right now. If you can return to this place, it helps you feel connected with yourself and those around you. Children, partners, loved ones, parents, friends, colleagues at work. So do tune in. If you can, be with me every Monday at 7 o'clock in the evening. For those of you that like to catch up, then you can see previous editions on the podcast or on YouTube. And the easiest way to access any of that is to go to the website engagewithsuccess.com. If you know anyone that would benefit from this, feel free to reach out to them and tell them all about it. Click it, like it, share it. Also, if you'd like to pick up a newsletter every Sunday at 10 a.m. that's sent out, and it's along the lines of this, lots and lots of hints and tips on how to improve the quality of your life, how to improve the quality of your thinking. That's called Small Steps. You can reach out for that on the website, engagewithsuccess.com. Thank you for your company. Be well, take care of yourself, and manifest the life of your dreams.